And we all agreed.
We are
Okay, thank
already
you so
live.
much,
Oh.
Mr. Yes, we are live now, Mr. Bolubatife. Thank you so much for accepting this invitation. This is a very fantastic topic, and I believe that anyone listening to us and if you're viewing us from any part of the world, please join this conversation. We need to initiate a conversation surrounding the Nigerian electoral system because we have a problem in Nigeria. The system is failing us right now. Our electoral system is obviously plagued by a lot of errors that we need to correct because we, as a people, they say that anyone who repeats mistake 2 times is no more. It's when mistake is repeated 2 times, it's not more a mistake, but it is foolishness. And this is what Nigeria is doing for a very long time now. So we have this system where every year, every 4 years, we re-elect our leaders. We call for election. Now, the process of this election is so flawed that we have to pay huge amount of money. I mean, budgeting 69 billion naira since 1960 to elect, recycled, and bring up fake, I don't know, I don't know how to describe, I don't know what adjective to employ, but these leaders are so incompetent that the country has been mismanaged. Now, you will agree with me that every Nigerian that is listening to us right now, we need to change this system. In fact, we cannot be comfortable when the system is not working. So when you talk of political reforms, we need also economic reforms. We need socio-cultural reforms. And inside the political reforms, we need these electoral reforms, the way we employ our leader. Now, what is interesting is that Mr. Bolitife, as you're seeing him on our screen, he has a very fantastic idea that he's going to propose to us. But we're going to start by identifying the problems, the difficulties. We take at least 30 minutes to discuss this. Will not take much time, but we invite you to join in our conversation, leave your ideas, leave your opinion, let us know what you think. We all agree that our current system is not perfect, and we all should also agree and call for the reform. I know it's difficult, is hard because we are used to the old system where senators and the House of Assemblies and the president and all the people sit down to share the money. And changing the new system, you're not sure of what is, you're not sure if it's going to work or not. But we need as people to progress. All the great countries they have had around the world, France, Russia, China, all these countries, they have had revolution. Cultural revolution, political revolution, and they need to change their system. We also need to change our system because I think our current electoral system is so flawed that if we don't do anything, we cannot sustain this system for the next decade. We have insecurity problem every 4 years. For example, when the election period is arrived, we have politicians who have to take loans and they have to pay these loans back, you know, and they also employ thugs to fight their opponent, to kill each other. At least there is an estimate that at least not less than 1,000 people die every season of election through clashes and through ethnic tension. And if you live in Nigeria, you understand what I'm talking about. There is always this tension among people that you hear rumors, you hear people whether there will be war there, whether there will be war there. And another thing that is very important is that immediately after the election, there is a winner and there is a loser. The winner goes home happy with his family and his wife and children and whole his clan and the rest of the nation celebrating with him. And the loser goes back home heartbroken, disappointed, and his family disappointed, and his dogs disappointed. And there is this tension that is unnecessarily created, which we don't need it in our nation. Spending 65 billion naira on election is it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So we need to find a way. Either we channel this money through to develop our educational system, or we develop our security system, or we develop other systems. But what we need to do, what is important, is that we need to initiate a dialogue about the electoral system. And this is where Mr. Bolitife comes in now. I would like to first of all hear your opinion. What do you think about the Nigerian current state of our electoral system?
Well, thank you very much, Magaji, for that wonderful uh, introduction to the topic. Let me say this in unmistaken language. The root cause of our electoral woe is money. Money has become an albatross in our
How do you mean by
electoral
that?
system.
Yes.
Okay, one, election has become poverty alleviation system. It's electioneering has become an investment. In fact, it's one of the most rewarding investments. It's one of the most also heartbreaking investment. So people sell all they have acquired prior to election. Some sell their houses, they sell their cars, they sell their investment to contest for election. So when you see this, you ask yourself, is this person mad? Is he out of his senses? Imagine you are like, not even say you are a 50-year-old and you started working like age 20, and all you have acquired for 30 years, you just bundle them together and sell everything because you want to contest an election. And of course, the principle of investment is like you are expecting good returns, right? Of course, we know about the risk. The higher the risk, the higher the return. And unfortunately, now when you lose, like you rightly said, you are home dry and cold. No, actually, no, you're not dry. You'll be cold because you become suicidal rather. So, but when you win, oh, it's like the food is ready. We have had testimonies of those who won, even from the State of Assembly, where banks will come the next day after the election is announced, and they give them overdraft of 10 million, 50 million without applying. And you imagine 2-3 banks approaching you, even with credit card, with even with checkbook printed in your name, without you even having an account in that bank. So when you look at all this together, you will now say, are the problem of our election is money, 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 money. It is the money, the banks, rather than channeling money to productive sector of the economy, they will now be giving free loan, free overdraft to the senator, to the assemblyman, to the House of Rep. So because of that, people become too desperate to win. And it is because of that, for you to ensure that your investment doesn't go bad, you do everything to protect the investment, right? So the issue of thuggery, the issue of killing and maiming, is just a way of protecting that investment. So it's an election. Election in Nigeria is not about service. In fact, service does not even come close to anything. Those who are contesting election today, at the back of their mind, service is not there. That's not about service. It is about how I will acquire my money back. It is about investment. So now, what can we do? So what we can do is to, since we are good at copying things in Nigeria, we copy extravagant life, we copy, how to blow, we copy all these things. Though we don't copy productivity. Now, how can we de-emphasize money from election?
Before you go into that solution, please, I would like you to expatiate. I would like you to, because you made some very valid point, which I would like you to emphasize on it, because this is a very important. You mean bank approach a politician who just finished his election, so they are coming to say, okay,
no, across YouTube, there are so many of this guy who have stated that when they won the election, either as a senator or state house or assembly, how the bankers approached them. I brought a share book printed in their names, so I'm not making this thing up. These are things that you can Google. So they bring and they give them overdraft facility of running into millions. Some of them have never had an account in that bank. It's not saying, okay, I have account in this bank, then I contested the election and I won. And because I have been a good customer, you decide to extend this good gesture to me. No, what they do is that the bank, they try to undo one another. So immediately they got the list of those who have won an election. They approach them immediately.
Now, the point is this. Politicians, we all agree, they are not producing anything in Nigeria. They don't do anything. They are being paid huge and handsome money. In fact, the president of France is earning not at least 15,000 or 10,000 euro, but I learned that an ordinary senator in Nigeria earns more than that. Around.
We are talking of legitimate earning. Legitimate earning is even a battery part of what they earn. When you talk of what they earn, when you add all the bribe and everything, I have written an article which I talk the monetization of oversight function. When you see all these guys making noise, for instance, when you say you are senators or House of Rep in charge of education, they, from what we pick, they go to all these schools. In fact, all the schools, colleges of education, polytechnic, universities, when they are preparing their budget, they have to add, there's a part budget line for all these oversight functions. So they still get, they make even more money from those one than the regular one we are charting is too much. But even that is a part of what they make.
So the
So
point you're making here is that, so a lot of them go into politics because, if I understand clearly, there are three motivation for someone to go into politics, for example,
it's
or
okay.
undertake a career. Number one is the money incentive. When there's incentive, when you're going to make a lot of money, and as a career, that one is okay. And then the second reason is either you are craving for power, power. For example, someone like Muhammadu Buhari, he doesn't need the money, obviously. He need the power to control, to decide, to place who is who, to sack, to delete, to employ, to deploy, and everything. He is craving for that power. We have seen people who love someone like Donald Trump. He doesn't need the money. He just the power that he wants to decide the fate of other people. So we have a lot of example of people who are going into politics to make money. Someone like Dino Milai, for example, we know that he is poverty stricken. He wants to go into politics to make his money, buy his flashy cars and wristwatch and Rolls Royce and I don't know, Rolex, and show them off. And the third one are people who go into politics because of the fame, because they're going to get known, they're going to get the media attention, they're going to be called upon to speak as celebrities and all those things. Now, so you have people who are going for the money, people who are going for the power, and people who are going for the fame. Now, in the case of Nigeria, almost 95% of people who are going to politics are going because of the money, which is very, very, very obvious. So what you are proposing here is that these people take loan from the bank. They say, okay, look, we're going to get elected.
The bank give them loan, not that they take. They
Even without
give
the
them,
maxim.
the bank, they come, it's like a marketing tool. The moment you win an election, the bank comes to you and say, hey, we are giving you 50 million overdraft. This is your checkbook. Because they know that they will get the money back. They will pay. So even if the guy is not even thinking of stealing money, it's like the bank has already provided the cushion of the bed for them. So which means the bank are now becoming agent of corruption, if you want to say it that way, because they are the one that they are motivating these people to steal. But they will call it marketing. I don't think in our environment it's unethical. I'm not sure it's illegal. They call it marketing. So you are marketing new customers. So if that testimony of what these people said by themselves are anything to go by, and we are serious about it, then we should have a rethinking. So what is wrong with our system? Now, when you talk about people going to politics for power, maybe most of other politicians, fine, but most, an average under 30, under 40 politicians in Nigeria, they are going to politics as an investment.
Yes, yes.
It's
They
an
want to make a
investment.
career out of it.
That is not career, investment. So if you sell your house, your family house, you sell all your property to go into politics, is that not an investment? So they go there, and because of that, all these things you mentioned, even the guy that is looking for fame, the white guy that is looking for career or power, none of them is talking about service. And politics actually should be about service to the people. So if all the ingredients of going to politics has nothing to do with service, then where are we? We are nowhere.
Yeah,
So
this is where the problem comes in, because we keep re-electing, bringing, recycling all these leaders for almost how many years now, and there's no changes, and our people want to keep this system in place, and I'm not comfortable with it. You are not comfortable with it. So please, what do you think? What do you think we can do? What can we put into this? What kind of reform do we need to bring into this system that will change the
now
situation?
here is the thing: you cannot conduct an election without money. That is a fact. Let us not make mistake about that. And we cannot advocate for us to start electing leaders without election. That will be going to monarchy. And the monarchy is not the best government for in modern times. What do we do? What do other countries do? We have to think of crowdfunding for election. When you want to contest for election, then we have to create a system where whatever you raise is made available, publicly available. So an individual want to put himself on service will come with an agenda and say, okay, this is what I want to do. Convince the people, raise money among people. Let the people contribute 20 naira, 30 naira, 100 naira here. So, and by that, you are not bringing yourself to serve. You are not coming to politics as an investment where you want to make money. So because we need money to run an election, we need money to campaign, we need money to put poster, we need money to speak to people. But this money should be by way of just like we do contribution. You know, we are used to this in Nigeria. We do contribution in the office. You want to buy TV, you contribute money. Then when it's your turn, you collect the money and you buy your TV. But you are contributing from your salary. It's not as the money you are stealing from. So we have to say that electionary finance should not be by individuals. It's not an individual who want to contest for an election. We go and sell all his property. We go and borrow money from the bank or whatever to win an election. So let election be by public funding. Let it be by crowdfunding. That is how it is done elsewhere. So when you want to contest, you pitch people and you ask them to donate to your campaign. Even as Donald Trump was as rich as he was, fake or real, when he was campaigning, he did not spend his money. It was the party that collected donations. Here, every year, I remember of a political party, they send email to you, they give you call to make donation, they want to do this. They bring out their budget, they ask for donations. And these donations are publicly accounted for. In fact, whatever donation you make in support of a candidate here, like here in Canada, that information must be reported to the Election Canada. So whatever you raise is there, is known. Who donated, where they donated. So it is because by the time you do this, first you are eliminating godfatherism. Who is bringing money to you because he's bringing money, so he's deciding who should be voted for. You are you are taking care of that. Two, you are preventing the people from committing suicide with their life saving. Because like you rightly said, when you lose, Nigeria is winner takes all. When you win, you are good. When the other that loses, you don't care about them. So if you sell your property and you lose, you are your own.
What do you think about the money that they make in politics? Because other people can exploit.
There will be no need to make money. See, if there is service, if it is about service, your salary is made public. You cannot choose other people, because by the time the populace are contributing to the electoral process, they will demand for higher accountability. So I can't contribute. I can't donate maybe 50,000 or even 100 naira to election campaign, and I'm expecting the politician to go and give me a bag of rice.
Some people will exploit that. Remember, some people will exploit that and say, "Oh, we are Christians, I'm Muslim. Vote for me because I'm Muslim. Vote for me because I'm Yoruba. Vote for me because I'm Hausa, Igbo, for example." They will exploit and say, "Okay, give me money, donate money to my campaign because I'm Hausa. Donate money to my campaign because I'm Yoruba. When I get into the power, I will do."
It's left for the people to accept that as a condition for donation. I mean, because you have to pitch, because we are still at the modern level that the appeal to religion, to tribe is thriving. When we are now emphasizing services, you have to tell me what you can render, what you can offer, not who you are. Yeah, who you are may be part of it. It has to be secondary. What can you deliver?
This is the problem. This is the problem I want to propose to you. In the 2019 election, we had almost 9 candidates Buhari was one of them. Atiku was one of them. Donald Duke was one of them. I'm pretty sure you are familiar with him. We also have so many people, so many young, able people, people with ideas. We know what Donald Duke did with Calabar, Cross River. We know what he did with as a youngster who came into power, transformed the state into a tourist attraction center. So the problem is this: what you're saying is that people, you can say, oh yeah, let me propose my service to you. I want to serve you people. But the people are not smart enough. I'm not saying that Nigerians are foolish, but I'm just saying that we don't have the acumen to judge, for example, who
I
would come
don't
and serve
agree
us
with that.
properly.
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Nigerians, see, you see, if you look at the progressive decay from
Yes.
1999, it was
Mm.
not this terrible in 1999. The situation we are now is progressively decaying over time. So, and if I mean, I don't know how old are you? I started voting is way back in 1983. So
Yes.
by that time, the issue of people giving rights or this thing was not the factor
Mm.
for election. Yes, there were tribal politics. We will not deny that. That time there were tribal politics. I've written that how when I was in Kotagora, I wanted to vote. I prefer voting for Awolowo because I benefited from free education. And
Ooh.
yes, because I believe I wanted to. It was time to pay back. But I also knew that voting for Awolowo in the Kotagora was a waste of time. So, and I didn't want to vote for MPN. I didn't like MPN then. And I said, okay, what will I do? I would have voted for PRP, Aminu Kano. But I know Aminu Kano because it's Talaka or something. My election will not, my vote will not go anywhere. So I said to myself, I want to waste my vote. And I voted for NAP, Tuji Braithwaite. The guy who said was going to kill cockroaches and rodents. That was his campaign something. I don't know whether you remember
Who
that.
are the cockroaches and the rodent?
No, he said that we rid Lagos of cockroaches and rodents. No, rid live cockroaches. So that was his main concern then. That we used to make jest of. So I voted for him. So what I'm saying that if there is public engagement, public participation, because if the people where you put your money, your mouth will go there. If I'm donating if I donate 10,000 naira for the campaign something activity of my governor in my state, for instance, I will be both to asking question, and he cannot insult me for asking question because I will tell you it's not just my vote, my money brought to there. So I think the fact that this now, because also if I have contributed 100 naira to a campaign, I cannot ask the person to come and give me a loaf of bread. So people are demanding to be paid because they believe this guy will make this money back too. But if they are the people that are channeling their own resources to get people they believe can serve them, then those we eliminate all this sharing of bag of rice, bag of salt. You will eliminate that. Of course, you will also be able to eliminate the issue of the bank give you overdraft when you have not started before they give them before the inauguration, before they start sitting in the house. They will give them this money. So the bank will know that, look, this guy will not be able to do this because even his campaign were contributed by people.
Yes.
So you cannot also come to the bank to say, okay, I want to take loan to go and contest for election. The bank will know that that is not a risk they are willing to engage in. So if we make election to be publicly funded, and that we should be able to enhance accountability. That could make somebody who does not have money but has good idea and have good record of service to come as, okay, I want to contest because this and this are what I would do.
That is the word. That is the word I was looking for. Record
Uh,
of service.
yes, record of service. So now we have somebody I was reading something on Twitter a few days ago. If you see the way they drag Dangote, you'll be amazed that
What did they say?
they say if you remove government from his back, Dangote is nothing. So we don't have people that are really added value to our system. An average rich person in Nigeria today is either riding at the back of the government, or he has stolen. He has access to bank votes. If you are a bank director, now you are made. If you are a politician, you are made. So if we change our system to crowdfunding, where we don't have people who will spend billions of their money to contest for election any longer, so they don't have the need to recoup the money they have spent when they get to power, then things will change. And if people are contributing money to get people to office, people will shout when you are messing up with them. Because if you tell them you are going to revigorate the public education system, and you are there and nothing is happening, and people cannot send their children to public school, they will ask you, we contributed money to your campaign. Our school, we don't have teachers. What are you going to do about it? They will challenge them. So if they contribute money to them, for them to go to office, you cannot now come back and buy big cars and be showing up for me, because it's our money that took you to office. So it may take time to germinate, but it's going to change the trajectories, I believe. But the question is, are we going to have the courage to do it? So that is one thing. Then another thing, we should, as we go on, election should not be at the federal level. Election should be more at the state level. So every electoral system, electoral body should be at the state level, control at the state level. When we have federal election, each state should conduct its own election and submit results to the federal agency. You know, everything in Nigeria is over centralized. So that is why everything is controlled in Abuja, because everything is controlled in Abuja. Even when you want to be a governor, you have to go and first sign undertaking in Abuja to go and contest election in your state. And when you win, you owe allegiance to Abuja than to your state, to your state people.
Okay, I don't understand. I need you to clear this up first before we go further. You are saying that the election should be on the state level, not on the federal level. What does that mean?
Which means electoral agency should be at the state level.
So what happened to the federal level?
The federal level will just be a collating agent.
Okay.
So when there's a federal election, in which case a state can decide to hold this election at a different time from other people. You don't have to be uniform. So when you are campaigning, if you want to be a governor today now, you have to go and get endorsement from Abuja first. That's what they do technically. But if it is within your state, you have an independent electoral system within your state. You know that your campaign will have to be within your state. You don't need endorsement in Abuja. That's why you see a godfather that sits down in Abuja and is appointed governor from any state. The state that he does not even know anything about. So it's not his business.
But their favorite candidate, and they will support him. Just like what happened between Adam Toshomole and Obaseki.
Exactly. So but that could be at the later end. But the first thing is, like, let us tackle this issue of money. Like I said, you cannot conduct an election without money. What is important now? Where is that money coming from? How is that money coming from?
Speaking of money, and in addition to what you just said, in addition to everything that you just said, I think we need to also look into certain things that we have not been looking into before. Okay. For example, Germany is the best producer of cars, for example, in the world. But hardly you will see one single German politician, one from the president to the chancellor, with more than 2 cars. Hardly you will see them. Because having more than 2 cars is an excess. You don't need those things. And this is where Nigerian politicians are so guilty of. I think we should have a state law, a federal law, that mandate every single political officer not to own more than, if you have to own more than 2 cars, then you have to pay tax for the second cars. Because we see these excesses of them buying luxury cars, using public money. For what reason? I don't know. This is the problem. So aside cutting the expenses. Because if we can do this, the money that they are investing, the money that they are collecting, this money is supposed to go to the public offices, to the public servant. But the politician will hold the money for themselves, use them to buy luxury cars, to entertain themselves. For wastage, these cars are going to get spoiled, So I think, in addition to what you have said, we should also look into this aspect of wastage of money, and also the aspect of unnecessary, for example, the issue of traveling to Saudi Arabia, and the federal government is sponsoring Hajj to Saudi Arabia, or the federal government sponsoring pilgrim to Jerusalem. I think it is unnecessary, because those are the spendings that this country we are pushing our citizens to. For them, is tourism. Our people are going there to visit their site, and the federal government is taking the public money to sponsor something that doesn't bring any investment. So I think we have excesses. Aside from the electoral process, these are some of the key little things that the government can also look into. So in a nutshell, what do you think? What are your final words for us before we end
on this one? You see, the problem that the system now allow on control access for politicians that to win, or to our commonwealth, or to our resources. But by the time you change the financing system of election, that of control access itself will reduce. If you don't have free money, if you don't have too much free money, you won't buy too many cars.
That is true.
It's because they have access to free money that they are buying these cars. So which work did Melaye do that she's buying all those cars? If he goes there in the normal place, okay, let's say people like him, they accepted him, they finance the election, and he goes there to buy this thing. You mean that if he sees use money to buy the election, they will either they go and carry that money, or they will burn it down, or carry those work, or they burn it down? Because how can you be using our money to be enjoying your life? We contributed money to get you to office, to go and serve us. We didn't ask you to be buying car for yourself. Even there will be that moral restraint on their part from doing those things. You can't show off on people's works. But there is this disconnect that Nigerian politicians, they don't believe that the money they are spending is taxpayers' money. We don't see that connection.
Yes, we don't see it. Yes,
we don't. So, but by the time you talk about this crowdfunding something, you begin to see the people themselves begin to demand for accountability. It doesn't matter whether I contribute 100 naira and somebody contributed 1 million naira. It doesn't matter the amount, but the fact that I contribute, you cannot go and be
we have somebody.
Life.
We have somebody who is about to join us. We're about to close up, but he's joining us. I don't know how is going to be.
Let's give another 10 minutes then. How do we do?
All right, okay, let's bring him on then.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good morning from my end. How are you, sir?
Very well. I'm so sorry. I had this mix-up. I just saw the link, and I have no excuse anyway. Honestly,
okay.
I have no excuse whatsoever. My name is Daria Tui, co-convener Center for Liberty, advocating for electoral reform, and we are campaigning and pushing for occupying NAS next week, because we've seen that the current leadership of the National Assembly appears, not committed to passing a new electoral act, which is very significant for us to achieve free, fair, and credible elections. So, one of your, I think is your staff, your representatives, we were together in a clubhouse, on a clubhouse event, and she invited me for this program. I'm so sorry for coming late.
No, that's okay. We have spoken a lot already about the needed electoral reform before you came in to join us, and we have made a lot of points. We have spoken about how the Nigerian politicians spend some unnecessary spending in the system. So they loan money before they get elected, and they have to pay this loan back. And we have also discussed about the security issues plaguing our electoral system, and how people they use thugs to campaign, they use thugs to create ethnic tension, ethno-religious tension in the society. So we have spoken in details about all the security challenges we have been facing. So she told us about you, that you're going to join us. So we were hoping that we could be able to hold this conversation. But here you are. So we would like to hear, I don't know, Mr. Abolitife, do you have any question for him? So that let's hear what he has to say before.
Well, I think, I don't know. First, I would have loved him to listen to, when the video is ready, you can listen to what we have said. Maybe we have to convene another day where we can maybe, so that it doesn't, because we can't talk about what we have said. If whatever we have said earlier on, whatever you find useful, whatever clarification it needs, we can organize to have another session, so where we can continue from where we stop. If that works for you.
Yeah, that works for me. I mean, the protest we're pushing for is on 19th May, and we still have a couple of days before 19th, and so you can possibly invite me. I'll be back on the program to give a further insight into issues around electoral reform, constitutional reform, and what we are doing to push the current National Assembly to pass a new electoral act.
So that sounds good. So Magaji will make this video of what we spoke earlier on available to you. When you review that, then we can now have a deeper conversation next time. Or Magaji, what do you think?
Yes, let's do it. Let us give each other an appointment, and then we can be able to end this. So should we end it now and then call it? We give ourselves an appointment before the 19th and discuss the necessary reforms we are going to discuss. Let us discuss in private. Let us join the group, and we can discuss this and give ourselves a date. Then we will discuss this topic. So thank you so much for coming on, all of us, and then we'll discuss it. And thank you to our viewers that have been with us. We'll see you in the next session. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.